What's going on, Chemical Guys family, and welcome back to Detail Garage. Today we're tackling a common question that we get here, and that is how to make your black paint look darker or glossier. So we're going to show you a few quick tips and tricks, as well as a simple must-have product to get your car looking its best. So let's jump right in. So today we have this Toyota Corolla that has this metallic black paint, but as you can see, scratches, swirls, and oxidation have made it muted and kind of gray. So we're going to show you a few simple tricks to get it looking its best. So today we've already washed this vehicle to remove any of the loose dirt and debris. Now we're going to show you the clay bar process, and if you're new to clay, what that is a sticky substance, and this is going to help extract embedded contaminants that are stuck in the pores of the paint. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it or felt it where a car, you've just washed it and dried it, but as you touch the paint, it feels rough. That's all that grit that gets stuck in the pores, and the only way to extract it is with a clay bar. I've chosen to go with a medium because this is a daily driver. It sits outside, and we don't even know when the last time it was actually detailed, so we're going to show you just how much impurities and grime we can pull out using the clay bar. We've already torn off a small piece, and now we're just kneading it into a patty. We just need this to cover about 3 or 4 fingers. And the reason why we're not using the entire clay bar is because if you were to happen to drop this, it'll collect all the dirt and rocks from the ground, and you wouldn't want to bring this back to the vehicle. Just like a piece of gum, if you drop it, you want to put it back in your mouth, so just replace it if it was to be dropped. But now that's kneaded up into a patty that covers most of my fingers, we'll take some clay luber. And this is going to help just glide the clay bar safely across the paint surface. It also cleanses as you clay, but more importantly, it's going to prevent marring. And that's what happens when the clay bar goes dry. It starts to micro scratch the paint. That's what gives you that cloudy look. We'll just begin by spraying our hand below the clay bar. And we'll do a 50-50 here so you can see the before and after. Starting on the center and working our way out. This way we're not leaning across the vehicle on places that we've already clayed or cleaned. We're just working back and forth with light pressure. That's just the weight of your hand. You can feel the grime that is clogging those pores. It'll feel kind of rough, or the clay bar will drag. But as you pass over it with the clay bar, you'll feel it start to get smoother, or it'll get quieter. And then you can move on to the next section. So now we can just check our clay bar, and you can already see that there's a little bit of that contamination that is starting to be extracted. And now what we're going to do is roll this into a fresh side. This way we're not grinding into that kind of contamination back into the paint, thus preventing marring and scratches. A lot of you guys ask, how often do you have to replace your clay bar, or how many cars can one clay bar do? Basically, you can keep rolling this and kneading this as long as you find a fresh surface. Once you can no longer find a fresh edge, that's when you know it's time to replace this or grab yourself a new clay bar. But this is important because you don't want to keep grinding this kind of material back into the paint. That'll cause micro scratches. And like we're saying today, we're going to try and enhance the beautiful shine of this Toyota Corolla, but we're going to do that without using any tools. So it's important to take your time with this process. You don't want to mar it because that will result in having to polish the vehicle. What's also great about the clay bar is it's very soft and malleable. So it contours to basically any shape and body line. This way it rolls up this indentation on the hood, getting all the contamination that's in the crevices and nooks and crannies, giving the best overall finish. And as I mentioned before, we're not using any kind of tools in this vehicle today, but if you were to polish, this is a necessary step. This will prevent the contamination of the vehicle from being transferred to the pad, and this causes pigtails or to clot the pad, and it won't give you the best results. So this is a necessary step, whether you're doing any kind of paint correction, or even if you're just going to apply new coatings. This is something you want to perform every at least 6 months, depending on the conditions of the vehicle or how it's stored. But this way you keep your car looking its best for as long as possible. So we pretty much finished this half of the hood. We'll grab a clean microfiber towel and just wipe off any of the spent clay luber and debris. Rolling the towel, this way we're not grinding any kind of material or mess into the paintwork. But already it feels nice and smooth, especially compared to how it felt just a few moments ago when we washed it. The towel is dragging and you get to feel all the roughness in the paint. This gives it a beautiful, smooth finish. And already just in a few moments, that's already given us a little bit more gloss. It's removed some of the contamination. But what's really going to enhance it is our next step. So we just finished the clay bar process on this section of the hood. I'm just going to give you a quick before and after the sound. You can hear this side. It's very rough, it's gritty. My hands are pretty rough with callus, but that's still all the contamination that's in the pores of the paint. And on this side, Very smooth, very silky, and that's because of all the contamination that's been extracted from the pores of the paint. And again, this is a necessary step whether you're going to be polishing the vehicle or moving on to coatings, but today we're going to show you a quick way to enhance it by hand using blacklight glaze. Now think of this as a way to mask those minor imperfections like swirls, scratches, light oxidation, and this is going to give your paint a little bit of protection, and it's very easy to use. So we'll just start by shaking up the bottle. And as we mentioned, we're not going to be polishing the vehicle today or using any kind of polisher, just using a microfiber applicator pad. We'll just apply a few dots to our pad here. And then start blotching it out from the center, working your way towards ourself. And a little bit goes a long way, so there's no need to put a heavy coat, because if you think about it, initially the only layer that's bonding is that first layer. If you want more protection or more shine and depth, just add more layers rather than putting one heavy coat. Start working this back and forth. We're using a cross-hatching pattern just to ensure that we haven't missed any spots. But blacklight starts to bond basically immediately, so there's no need to let it sit for a really long time. It's a little cooler today, so we want this to flash. It'll probably take about 10 to 15 minutes. We're just working this into the paint, making sure that we cover all of the body lines and contours and everywhere that we've already clayed. This is going to help mask those minor imperfections. Think of this as like makeup. It'll help to hide any kind of micro scratches and swirls. That's also going to enhance metallic flake, which this car has both. And it's just a great way to give your car the overall best finish. So we're going to give this a chance to start to flash. Once it becomes basically the same hue and we can wipe it away cleanly, that's when we know it's time to buff it off. So that takes about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll see you guys in just a minute. So we've allowed blacklight to bond to the surface for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to take our clean microfiber towel and just start buffing it off. This is one of our professional grade microfiber towels with a silk banded edge. This is just a soft way to buff away any excess polishes or things like glaze, wax, and sealants. Start working back and forth. And you can see that light coat comes off very easily. And again, that's why I mentioned just to put on one fine coat. This way you're not wasting a lot of product. It comes up very easy, so this reduces the chances of scratching the paint. Nice fine layer of glaze. And then this can be topped with a layer of sealant and wax, or sealant and wax, to give it protection and longevity. But already you can see a lot of the depth. The metallic flake has been magnified, but at the same time it's masking those micro scratches and swirls, giving it a more uniform finish. Now obviously if you were to take the steps to give it a compound or a polish, that'll remove those scratches and swirls, any kind of staining. But if you guys don't have machine polishers, chances are this is going to be the best way to give your vehicle the most depth and gloss without using any kind of tools, but also saves you a lot of time and effort. So you can see here, just by using one product, we've already magnified a lot of that gloss. The paint is very smooth. And again, you can top this with your favorite layers of sealant or wax or a combination of both to give it longevity and more gloss. So we're going to repeat the same process using the clay bar as well as blacklight on the rest of the vehicle. Then we're going to show you one more product, how to give it some more gloss and longevity. As our final step, we're going to give you the easiest way to lay down a fine layer of wax, and that is with Lucent spray wax. This is going to give you a layer of protection, but more importantly, it's going to enhance that shine. It's very simple to use. We've already shaken up the bottle, but now we're just going to spray it directly onto the surface. Just a fine mist. And what's also great about this product is it adds rejectors that help to block dirt and dust from bonding to the surface. And this is a huge problem with dark color vehicles. So it helps to reduce the static charge that clings to dust and micro abrasives. Very easy to use, simply spray on, wipe off. It's safe for your glass, your headlights, chrome, basically any surface on the exterior of your vehicle. Just wipe away any of the excess and buff it to a beautiful deep dark shine. So now the surface has been enhanced, it's been protected. And you can maintain this using a soap like Blacklight or your favorite car wash soap. You can add your favorite spray wax as often as desired. People ask how often they can use this. You can use it daily if you'd like to, weekly or bi-weekly. It's just important to maintain your coatings to give you that best overall finish. So guys, it really is that easy to get your car looking its best. If you have a dark color vehicle, Blacklight and Lucent are two great products to pick up, and you can check them out on our website, chemicalguys.com, or your local detail garage. If you guys like today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Drop your comments down below for any future videos. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time right here in the detail garage.